What are the steps to wholesaling real estate? In this video, we're gonna talk about the 3 steps to make a fortune in real estate, even if you don't have much money to begin with. I'm gonna be breaking down these 3 steps. First, how to find those sellers out there. The second one's gonna be really how to put the deals together, how you're gonna bring a solution to them so you can get the deal. But ultimately, the third step is how you can make 10 grand for putting this deal together. All right, let's go to the drawing board because I'm gonna break this down really simple where even my 12-year-old, if he was to watch this video, he'd be like, okay, I get it. I get what this wholesaling thing is. So let's go with our step number 1. What we're looking for is a motivated seller. And really, what is motivation, okay? So it's tied to 2 things. A crooked home, that's actually my best drawing of a home, but we're gonna talk about how you can find motivation through a home or through the seller. Now guys, it's crucial that we're looking for motivation because that is the beginning of a good deal. You have to find these motivated sellers. If there's no motivation, they're just gonna go to the traditional route with a real estate agent to list their home. So what are some of these things when I say motivation that's tied to either the property or tied to the seller? What do I mean by that? What I'm really tying to is the word distressed. And I want you to think of just the different distressed situations that can be with the home and some of the distressed situations that can be with the seller. So first and foremost with the home, what are some distressed situations? All of us have driven down the street before and we've been driving and all of a sudden you look over and you're like, man, that house, it stands out like a sore thumb. And it maybe has lawn that's 4 feet high and you can't see the cute little dog running anymore. It could be that it has boarded up windows. It could have broken windows. It could have the shingles that are curling and now water damage is all over the roof. It could be broken garages. All of these signs, when you're driving around, you're looking at homes, these are the things that you need to be looking for. These are the distressed situations that when you see them, that's already a good sign that there could be some motivation behind the homeowner, behind the seller, that they're looking to sell. Now, as for motivation or distress for the seller, what does that look like? Maybe even us. I've been through some of these situations where you're looking at it and you're like, man, I'm behind on payments of some sort. And for some people, it could be behind on their mortgage. For some people, it could be behind on their taxes. Maybe this couple is going through a divorce. Or maybe they just inherited a property because maybe mom and dad just passed away and they don't have the money to fix it up to put it back on the market. These are also signs of distress, a distressed situation that can cause motivation for a seller to say, hey, I'm ready to sell and I'm ready to sell at a discount because you're gonna bring me this speed and convenience. All right, let's go back to number 2 on the drawing board. Step number 2 is you're gonna ultimately meet with this homeowner. Now, what are we doing when we meet with these individuals? This is something you gotta put a new set of ears on, right? This is where you use what God blessed you with. 2 ears, 1 mouth, use them proportionately, but to focus on what is it that they're struggling with. We talked about locating some of these distressed situations on the home and the homeowner. That's really what we're listening for. It's not about the deal, guys. In fact, it's very rarely about real estate. It's not about being a 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom or 2,200 square feet. In most cases, I don't even care about any of those things, any of that stuff. Really what I care about is listening to the seller and finding out what are some of those pain points, what are some of those struggles, and can I genuinely serve this individual at a high level, be able to serve them in a way that I end up being a solution for them, that I'm not here to just think about myself and just get a deal at a discount, but you're listening to them. And maybe they're gonna talk to you, and some of the situations that they may bring up that I don't have money to fix my home up. I do wanna sell it, but it's not in a condition where I can even get a loan on it or where someone would buy my home because it's in such disrepair. When you listen to that, that's the beauty. That's what we can do as investors is we're able to, yes, even though we buy homes at a discount, the reason for that is because we're able to buy homes as is, that they don't need to fix it up. Maybe some of the other pain points are they don't want to clear the clutter out. Maybe it's a hoarder house. I've seen plenty of these and they scare you. You walk through there and you don't know what you're going to step on, but ultimately they don't have to clean them out. That's something as part of the as is, we'll take care of it. You can just move on to plan B. Or maybe they don't have money for the closing cost. As an investor, you can be that solution where you don't make them pay their closing costs. That's part of us. And because of this speed, because you can close quick, and because of this convenience, you're buying it as is, and you can do it with cash, and you can even help them by moving to their next place, they're willing to sacrifice price. But again, guys, this only works if your heart's really in it to serve these individuals. Hey guys, before I move on to number 3, I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit the bell so it alerts you when we put up fresh new content. But let's get going into our final step to this wholesale process. All right, let's go to our third and final step. Let's go back to the drawing board. So essentially for our step number 3 is the beauty about wholesaling, what a lot of people don't realize is this is the easiest way to get into real estate. Why? Because you don't need a lot of money to get involved in real estate. You just have to find the right method. You got to find the right strategy that allows that to happen. Wholesaling allows you to do that. Because ultimately, as you go through this process, you're finding these distressed properties or a distressed situation that the seller's going through. You meet with them. Ultimately, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be putting it under contract. And this is just my writing of a contract, right? You're going to put this home under contract, and you're putting it under contract at a discount. Now, how big of a discount? Anywhere from between 40, 50, 60 cents on the dollar. So that's a big discount. And here's why I love wholesaling. Instead of just getting a contract, and for me, for my own story, I didn't have money to buy this home, even if it was at 20 cents on the dollar. I was dead broke when I got into wholesaling. But what you're able to do is, with step 3, is all of these cash buyers, and I'm just gonna draw a bunch of heads. There's so many cash buyers in every state, in every market, in every city. They're out there. Now, it's not to say that when you find a deal, it's like the Field of Dreams where it was, if you build it, they will come. No, it's not that simple. But you can find these cash buyers anywhere. And I have videos that train more in depth about that, for sure, about cash buyers. But let's say you already know that. You have cash buyers, you have them ready. What you're going to do ultimately is, instead of you closing on this contract, what you're gonna do is, we're not selling a home, because we're ultimately just putting the home under contract, but we sell the contract to these cash buyers. Now, here's the full scoop. Let's break this all together. Let's say this home is worth, when it's all fixed up, but it's not fixed up. It has broken windows, it has damage all through the house, it has curling roof, it has a tree laying on the roof that's put a hole in the middle of the roof. It's a damaged house. But let's say when the home is fixed up and it has all the repairs done, let's say it's worth $200,000. But because of the shape it's in and because of the situation they are in and they want to close quick, they need it to be cash, they don't want to fix it up, they want someone to buy it as is, let's say you're able to put it under contract at $100,000. There's a big difference here. Once it's all fixed up, it's worth $200,000. But right now, it's gonna need a lot of fix up, right? Maybe $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to fix it up to get it to that state. So we put it under contract at a discount, $100,000. And ultimately what we do is we present this contract that allows these cash buyers to close on that home in lieu of us, so that we never have to close on it. And you market this contract up from the price you put it under contract for. So this scenario, I'd say the average assignment fee, the fee that you're gonna make for selling it to a cash buyer, is right around $15,000. So you are gonna present this contract to your cash buyers at $115,000. Now, one of these cash buyers is gonna be, pick me, right? It's like the donkey from Shrek. He's like, pick me! And he's out here, he's like, I want this deal. I absolutely want this deal. What he's going to do is he's gonna end up going to the title company. Let's see if we can draw just a little bit nicer home than the one that's abandoned and has problems going on with it. But ultimately, with the title company, this cash buyer is gonna bring $115 to the title company to close on the home. And then the title company is gonna cut a check to the seller for $100,000 because that was the price I put it under contract for with him or her. And then there's a difference of $15,000. That check gets cut to me, the wholesaler. So I get paid $15,000 for finding the deal, bringing it to a cash buyer that does have the money to close on it. And at the end of the day, I walk away with $15,000 and never having to close on the property at all. All right, guys, as you look at this strategy, this is one of my favorite strategies, but I want you to think about this and I want you to really ask yourself, what would this do for you? Maybe you're like me, where you're married and maybe you have 4 kids like me, 4 no more, but ultimately, you could be at the point where maybe you're married, have family. What would this do for you? If you could just find one deal a month, heck, if you could just find one deal every other month, what would it do for you to add an additional $15,000? That's on average. Some can be lower, some can be higher. But ultimately, if you could add that to your income every time you do a deal, what would it look like for you? Would you be able to go on that vacation that you've been hoping to go on? Would you be able to finally get away from work a little bit and not work those 80-hour weeks anymore? Find some more time to be able to enjoy your family? These were some of the big things that were always a big concern in my mind, is I didn't just want to work for the dollar. I wanted to have a little bit more lifestyle, have time to create memories with my family, with my wife. And this has allowed me to do it. So think about that. What does it look like? You don't need to do 10 deals a month like our company ultimately does now, because it all started out with just doing that one deal. And one deal can change everything. And then from there, you have the choice to grow it as big as you want. All right, guys, I want to give you a free gift. I want you to click the link down in the description where it's going to give you my free guide to bad properties, big profits. And it ultimately is just a guide to show you how to locate and find all the distress factors that we talked about and break it down so that you're able to find these and locate these deals, these homes that turn into deals that can close in as little as 30 days. Be sure to click on that link in the description. Go enjoy, but get out there right now, take action, and go get your next deal.